No open play goals in 8 games. Why has Jude Bellingham stopped scoring for Real Madrid? The England midfielder isn't finding the net with the same regularity as he did earlier in the season, but it's not time for Los Blancos to panic. It was the 11th minute of Real Madrid's Copa del Rey clash with Atletico Madrid, and Jude Bellingham couldn't believe he hadn't found the net. He looked at the sky in anguish, while his manager, Carlo Ancelotti, turned away in frustration, and teammate Federico Valverde threw his arms upward. Even Atletico goalkeeper Jan Oblak, who had watched Bellingham's effort cannon off the crossbar, looked surprised. Bellingham's miss, if you could call it that, was an unfortunate one. It came at the end of a slaloming run, in which the Englishman weaved through 2 defenders and angled his left-footed shot into the ground, intentionally sending it skidding goalwards. Still, it proved to be decisive in the scope of the game. Bellingham could have given Los Blancos an early 1-0 lead in a game that they eventually lost 4-2 in extra time. Bad luck isn't really something that Bellingham has endured so far in his Madrid career. He spent his first 3 months at Santiago Bernabeu, breaking numerous goal-scoring records, besting marks set by Cristiano Ronaldo, Alfredo Di Stefano and Zinedine Zidane, but the goals have been at a premium in recent weeks. Bellingham hasn't found the net from open play in almost 2 months, his only goal coming via a penalty against Almeria in January. His slump, such as it is, can't be attributed to a downturn in form, as Bellingham has still been immensely effective for Los Blancos. His work rate is as vital as ever, while the assists have come in spades. Still, that signature goal-scoring touch that made him the early Ballon d'Or frontrunner has disappeared. Emphatic start. Bellingham didn't arrive as the answer to Madrid's potential goal-scoring problem, but in the wake of Karim Benzema's surprise departure, the summer signing started, banging them in from his first appearance. He found the net on his debut and scored 2 against Almeria a week later. By the end of his first 3 weeks in a Madrid shirt, Bellingham had 5 goals in 4 games, with an assist thrown in for good measure. His goal-scoring record was so strong that, when he failed to score against Real Sociedad on September 17th, Ancelotti was immediately grilled about the England star's inability to find the net at a post-match press conference. Those fears were soon eased, though. Bellingham kicked off the Champions League group stages with a stoppage-time winner against Union Berlin and backed that up with a Zidane-esque solo effort away at Napoli. By the end of November, Bellingham had found the net 14 times in his first 15 Madrid games. Ronaldo only managed 13 across his first 15. Bellingham, of course, didn't wake up one day and become a prolific goal-scorer. Rather, his emphatic opening 3 months was the product of a series of shrewd tactical tweaks from Ancelotti. A beneficiary of having too much midfield talent, the Italian manager used Bellingham as a false 9. The result was a player getting higher up the pitch and taking his chances at a blistering rate. He's finding a lot of opportunities in attack, and the fact that he doesn't have a fixed position on the pitch, he does a lot of damage to opponents, and nobody expected this level in terms of goals, Ancelotti explained in early October. Questions about sustainability cropped up. Yes, Bellingham was world-class, that was already known. But could he really be a 40-goal-per-season player? Why goals have dried up? Still, for all of Bellingham's quality early on at Madrid, something has changed in recent weeks. He hasn't found the net from open play since December 17th, and although his assist numbers have stayed constant, he has tallied 3 since then. Something is amiss. Perhaps the most simple explanation here is that Bellingham has been figured out a bit. He was seldom left wide open in his early Madrid career, but these days, defenders are constantly glued to him. Those spaces inside the box he so regularly capitalizaron are no longer there. Meanwhile, his signature late runs to tuck-away rebounds are being tracked with regularity. As a result, Bellingham is shooting less, with 2.4 shots per game to his name over the last 2 months. From August to the end of November, he averaged 2.8, according to FBref. He can still produce moments of magic, but those mazy runs, such as the magical solo effort that brought Naples to its feet, are also harder to embark on when he is surrounded by four defenders. There's a tactical element here too. Madrid, in recent weeks, have faced a glut of opponents who like to sit deep, which is awkward for a team that thrives in counter-attacking situations. Bellingham, instead of finding pockets in disoriented defenses, is left gasping for air in crowded penalty boxes. Asking an attacking midfielder to do the work of a striker is a lot more difficult when he doesn't have any space. Rediscovering that early season form. That run of pressure games starts on Saturday, as Madrid look to open up a 5-point lead at the top of La Liga when they host second-placed Girona. That will be followed immediately by the return of the Champions League, with RB Leipzig, the last 16 opponents for the 14-time winners. By the time mid-April rolls around, Madrid will likely play in the Champions League quarter-finals right before the second Clásico of the campaign, marking a potentially season-defining week for Ancelotti's side. If Madrid do as expected and make a push for European glory, they will need to do so with their star man fit, firing, and finding the net with regularity by then. How exactly Madrid ensure that happens isn't clear. Bellingham was so good, so early because he was afforded space to operate in, but the element of surprise only carried him so far. Now, it becomes a question of refinement, improvement, and perhaps just a bit of luck in front of goal. Chances are a remarkably gifted player, under the tutelage of one of the game's great coaches, finds his goal-scoring touch again. If he does, Madrid's possibilities are endless.